Hello and welcome to another video for Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we're looking at something that's now quite old, has become very collectible and are now very difficult to find, especially in this mint sealed unopened condition. We are looking at the 1995 release by Playmates from their Star Trek Voyager Season 1 series of action figures. And this particular action figure we are looking at today is of Lieutenant Tuvok, who was the tactical and security officer aboard the USS Voyager. Now, Voyager was the fourth series in the Star Trek franchise. So you had the original series, you had Star Trek Next Generation, you had Deep Space Nine, and you had then Star Trek Voyager. Well, five if you include the animated series, which was in between the original series and Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, the series first aired in January 1995, and it ran for 7 seasons. And there was 172 episodes that was produced, with the final episode airing in May 2001, which is when Voyager finally got their wish and they managed to get themselves back to the Delta Quadrant. Okay. This is the figure in front of us, and it says at the very top, warning, choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years. It's got ages 4 and up, and it says exclusive inaugural edition of Playmates Skybox collector's card included. And it says Star Trek Voyager, and there you can see an image of the USS Voyager as it's travelling through space. So Lieutenant Tuvok, Tactical Security Officer of USS Voyager. It comes with a Delta Quadrant accessories, which includes the Type 2B phaser, Starfleet Tricorder, Sims beacon, and the compression phaser rifle. And the bonus includes a Starfleet display base. And at the very bottom, you can see the Playmates logo on the left-hand corner. On the bottom right-hand corner, you get the assortment number 6480 and stock number 6487. And there, bang in the middle, you can see Tuvok figure, and next to him is the inaugural card, and just below him there is the accessories. Okay, before we have a good look at the figure himself, let's turn the card around and let's have a look at what is printed on the back. Okay, so I'll turn the card around, and this is what we got on the back. So at the very top again, it says ages 4 and up, and you can see an image of the inaugural card, but that's the one with Captain Catherine Janeway on. It says exclusive inaugural edition Playmates Skybox collector's card. And it says Star Trek Voyager, and you've got the same image of the ship flying through space. It says, in an effort to rescue abandoned Marquis rebels, the Starfleet ship USS Voyager finds itself swept up in a strange and terrifying phenomenon, which throws the ship into the far reaches of the galaxy, some 70,000 light years away, with no easy way home. Some of Starfleet's finest officers and a handful of dedicated Marquis rebels join forces aboard one of the most highly advanced starships ever built, the USS Voyager, to find a way back home. Join the Voyager crew for exciting new adventures as they go boldly to explore, study, and investigate the unexplored region of space. Okay. It says collect them all of these Star Trek Voyager action figures. So you've got Captain Catherine Janeway, Commander Chakotay, Lieutenant Tom Paris, Ensign Harry Kim, Lieutenant B'Elanna Torres, the Doctor, the EMH, Emergency Medical Hologram, Lieutenant Tuvok, which is what this one is, Kess of the Akampa, and Neelix the Talaxian. And just below that, it shows the accessories that come with it. Let's just have a zoom in. Oh, let's bring the car forward actually. And it says Delta Quadrant accessories. So we've got the the Type 2 phaser, which is a personal issue defense armament. You've got the Starfleet Tricorder, which is a portable sensor and sound visual recording system. The compression rifle, which is a long-range phaser energy audience. And the Sims beacon, which is a portable illumination and guidance device. And of course, you've got the Starfleet display base. You've got an important notice to collectors about Playmates' dedication to providing the product with the ultimate, finely detailed, authenticity as much as possible. You've got the Star Trek fan club, which you get 1-star point there as a proof of purchase. If you can just see that there. You've also got the copyright information for Paramount Pictures, the barcode, Playmates and the Star Trek logo, and the copyright information at the bottom there from Playmates Toys. Then over to the library computer and retrieval system. And this says profile, or it says library computer and retrieval system, the LUCAS, USS Voyager, NCC 74656, bridge officer biographical profile, subject Tuvok, species Vulcan, rank lieutenant. Profile: Lieutenant Tuvok is a highly disciplined and logical tactical officer and security chief aboard the USS Voyager. He is so respected by Captain Catherine Janeway that she counts on him as her moral compass. Their band is one of that has been forged over many years. Their bond, I should say. Tuvok is a major reason that USS Voyager wound up in the Delta Quadrant. He had infiltrated the Maquis rebels and become a tactical officer on Chakotay's ship when the caretaker pulled them into the Delta Quadrant. Janeway set out with USS Voyager to look for Tuvok and the other missing Maquis, who were last seen in the Badlands near the Voyager system. Before this assignment to the USS Voyager, Tuvok was an instructor at Starfleet Academy. For 16 years. When reassigned to train for of the more unruly Maquis on board, his rigid and inflexible style was met with open hostility. Tuvok learned to be more flexible and learned their respect. Like many other crew members aboard Voyager, Tuvok left behind a family on Vulcan. He's been married for 67 years. Tuvok can be found in his off hours enjoying a bowl of Vulcan Playmates soup in the mess hall, reading by himself. Further data access denied. Contact Starfleet security. Okay, so that's the back of the card. That bottom section is very difficult to read because of the way it's coloured. It's dark writing on yellow background, and the wording is in that computer printout wording, and it is somewhat fuzzy, I'd say is probably the word, and it's pretty much the same on every single one of these cards. So and obviously the writing is very small, so it's quite difficult to read that. But anyway, it is some good information on there. That's the back of the card. Let's now turn the card back around to the front and let's have a look at Tuvok himself. Okay, so I've zoomed right in on the figure facial features because I wanted you to have a look at the sculpting of the face, because I think this is fantastic. And I've got the image of Tim Russ on the left-hand side, who plays Tuvok in Star Trek Voyager. Now, the sculpting of the face looks absolutely spot on. Very, very, very good. The nose is absolutely right. The lips and the mouth is spot on. The eyes are just dead right. The eyebrows, again, spot on. The hair is absolutely perfect. And they've even got the ears right. Maybe just the slight shaping of the face is a little bit off. But other than that, it's absolutely spot on. I mean, I think that's a very, very good likeness of Tuvok. Or as Tim Russ, as he portrayed Tuvok in the television series. Really, really good likeness. Yeah, absolutely spot on, I think. Very, very good. The moulding, the sculpting on this figure, for a figure that's 30 years old, is absolutely perfect. There we are. Anyway, let's just drop down, and you can see Tuvok there is dressed in his gold-topped Starfleet jumpsuit with his badge on the front there, which is a little bit of an etched badge, so it stands out a little bit. It's not just painted on, which is a good thing on these figures. And then let's move down to there's his lower section, lower legs, and his boots. Okay, let's come back up. Now, as we can see, this figure is still sealed on the packet, and I can't remove it from the packaging, as it is still factory sealed. So, what I'd like to do is I'd like to compare him to one of my figures, which I have here, Julian Bashir. Now, Julian Bashir is obviously from Deep Space Nine, but they are pretty much exactly the same style and size figures with the same articulation. So we're going to look at Julian Bashir, and he's in his original Star Trek uniform from the episode Trials and Tribulations. So he stands 12 centimeters tall. Yep, which is about 5 inches, just under 5 inches, 4 3/4 inches. Width-wise, across his hands, we're looking at 5 centimeters, and thickness-wise, we're looking at about 2 centimeters. As you measure from his feet there, it's about 2 centimeters. So that's the size of the figure, and it'd be the same size with Tuvok. Now the articulation is identical on this figure to that figure. So we've got the head, which moves. We've got the tops of the arms, which move. We've got the section just below, which turns, and you've got the elbow, which moves. So you don't need movable hands because the top of the arm moves. So that's the way they've done it, which more emulates a human's arm. It's very difficult to turn your wrist without turning your arm. So that's the reason why that was done. They made it a little bit more realistic by changing the articulation this way, and you can pretty much put the arm anywhere you like. So very good there. The waist obviously turns, so he can turn any way he likes. You've got the tops of the legs, which move up and down, just like that. You've got then the knee joints that move up and down there. And I've just noticed something. On this particular figure, we don't have the movement of the tops of the legs. So you can't turn the legs at all. Whereas on Tuvok, if I just zoom in there, you can see you've got that articulation. That's the knee joint. And just up there, you've got that articulation where my thumb is just there. So his legs will turn. So there's more articulation on Tuvok than there is on my Deep Space Nine Julian Bashir figure, which was a slightly earlier version figure than Deep Space Nine ones. So there we are. That's better articulation. So we've got 3 points of articulation on the legs. So you got the 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14 points of articulation on this 5 inch or 4 3/4 inch figure. So absolutely brilliant. I think the articulation is on this figure. The moulding is perfect. The detailing is just fantastic. So really does look the part. Let's just have a look at the accessories then. So you can see the phaser, the Sims beacon, and the tricorder. And just behind him at the back is the phaser rifle. And then you can see just behind him is his stand, which has his name on it. It says Tuvok on the stand. So there we are. That is the Star Trek Voyager figures. Now, how well did these figures do back in 1994 when they first came out? Well, they done exceptionally well. Star Trek Voyager was a massive hit. It was very big when it started. And it ran the full 7 seasons, so the viewing figures were high, and it continued right the way through until the end of its predetermined number of episodes or number of seasons, which was 7. And as with Star Trek Next Generation and Star Trek Deep Space Nine, it was all around about the 170 odd episodes that was produced because of the popularity of the television series. Now, remember that Star Trek was probably the biggest franchise in the world at the time. It's obviously been taken over now by Star Wars, but back then you had so much Star Trek going on. We'd had the original series, we'd had the animated series, we'd had Star Trek The Next Generation, which was now gone into the movies. We'd had the original Star Trek movies, Star Trek The Next Generation that finished now and gone into the movies. We had Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which was still running at the same time as Star Trek Voyager had begun. And then after Star Trek Voyager, we had Star Trek Enterprise. So it was a huge franchise, and it was the biggest in the world. So any merchandise that was coming out, everybody was jumping on. I can remember when we had the shop and the Star Trek Voyager merchandise first came out, it was literally sold before we actually got the items. And we found out we were short for pre-orders. We had to chase up the UK distributors, which were Band-Aid at the time. And we had to wait. Eventually we did get the stock in, and we managed to supply everything that our customers wanted. But we had to wait again to restock and go back on the shelf, because the popularity of the TV show spawned the popularity of the merchandise, and everybody wanted it. So we had the USS Voyager ship. There was a couple of other ships that came out as well, and plus all the figure range. Apart from the fact that 2 of the figures weren't available in the UK, which was Kess and Kim, and we had to have those imported in from America. Anyway, that's another story. So yes, they done exceptionally well, and they sold so many immediately. And let's move forward 30 years to 2024, which is where we are today. Do they come up for sale very often on the platforms? Not as often as they used to be perfectly honest with you. They still come up occasionally. You do see a lot of them loose, don't get me wrong. A lot of them do come up with just the figures, which have obviously been displayed or been played with and are now being sold off. But you don't see so many anymore which are still in this mint sealed condition. They do come up occasionally, but when they do, they are usually sell quite quickly nowadays, and they are quite expensive in comparison to what they would have been when they first came out. Now, we were quite fortunate, because when we bought out stock from a closed down shop, there was a whole case of these figures in their stock room that they had never put onto the shelf, because it took them a long time to sell the figures that they had, and once that stock had run down, they replaced it with more current stock, and they didn't even bother to reopen the case and put them on the shelf. So fortunately for us, that case was still sealed, and we've obviously now taken possession of that stock, and every single one of those figures which was in that case is now available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, and they are pristine condition as this one is in front of us. And you can get to the Midas Touch website very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Trek Voyager items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you'd be looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful Tuvok figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.